What if I told you that the very moment you change how you see yourself, your entire financial reality must shift? What if the wealth you've been seeking has been waiting for you to simply claim it? Listen carefully, because what I'm about to share will challenge everything you've been taught about money, success, and your own power. The secret to attracting wealth has nothing to do with your circumstances, your education, or even your current bank balance. It begins with a fundamental shift, not in what you do, but in what you assume to be true about yourself right now. Wealth is not something you pursue. It is something you recognize as already present within your consciousness. The moment you stop looking outside yourself for permission to be wealthy, the moment you stop waiting for conditions to change, you begin to activate forces that respond with absolute precision to your inner assumptions. Here's what most people get wrong. They believe their imagination is just wishful thinking. But imagination is the creative workshop of the universe, expressing itself through you. Whatever you consistently imagine yourself to be, whatever you feel yourself to truly possess, that becomes your lived reality. Tonight, before you sleep, I want you to do something revolutionary. Close your eyes and enter completely into the feeling of already having financial freedom. Don't imagine how it happened. That's not your concern. Simply feel what it would be like to have more than enough. Feel the relief, the joy, the absolute certainty that all your needs are met. The world around you has no choice but to conform to this inner state, because consciousness is the only reality. Everything you see in the physical world is simply the outpicturing of someone's consciousness. But here's where it gets interesting. Your word carries creative power. Every conversation you have with yourself, every assumption you make about money, every feeling you entertain about your worthiness, these are not just thoughts. They are commands issued to the creative principle of life. If you find yourself saying, "I never have enough," or "money is hard to come by," you are literally commanding your subconscious to create experiences that match those words. But the moment you begin to speak from abundance, to think from wealth, to feel from having rather than wanting, everything changes. The technique is simple but profound. Create one short scene that implies your financial desire is already fulfilled. Perhaps you're opening a letter confirming your financial freedom, or checking your bank account and seeing the numbers you desire. But here's the crucial part. You must feel it as real. Feel the texture of that moment, the weight lifting from your shoulders, the deep satisfaction of knowing you are provided for. This feeling must become your dwelling place. Return to it often throughout your day. When doubt creeps in, and it will, don't fight it. Simply redirect your attention back to the feeling of your wish fulfilled. You see, most people have this backwards. They wait for wealth to feel wealthy. But the law works in reverse. You must feel wealthy for wealth to appear. You must assume abundance for abundance to manifest. Your imagination is not idle fantasy. It is the very womb of reality. Everything in your world first existed as an image in consciousness. The device you're using right now, the building you're in, the very clothes on your back, all of it was imagined before it was made real. You are constantly using this creative power, whether you realize it or not. Every time you picture the worst, dwell on problems, or rehearse failure in your mind, you are imagining just as creatively as when you envision success. The difference is in the direction of your attention. Stop worshiping facts. The facts of your current financial situation are nothing more than frozen shadows of previous assumptions. They do not define what's possible for you. The moment you realize this, you become free to choose a new story. Close your eyes right now and ask yourself, what would I see if my desire were already fulfilled? How would I feel? What would I be doing? Step into that scene completely. Touch the details, hear the sounds, smell the air, make it vivid and alive. The more real it becomes in your imagination, the more natural it will become in your physical experience. You don't need to know how it will happen. That's not your job. Your only task is to dwell in the end, to live from the assumption that your desire is already fulfilled. Your internal dialogue shapes everything. The stories you tell yourself about who you are, what you deserve, and what's possible. These are not empty thoughts. They are creative forces molding your experience. Every word you speak inwardly, especially when charged with emotion, plants a seed in your subconscious mind. Listen to yourself throughout the day. Are your thoughts filled with complaint and lack, or saturated with gratitude and expectancy? You cannot afford careless speech, not even as a joke. Your subconscious mind takes you at your word and begins immediately to create circumstances that match your dominant inner conversation. Instead of "I'll never get out of this," train yourself to say "everything is working in my favor." Instead of "I can't afford it," affirm "I am always provided for." These aren't just positive affirmations. They are declarations of truth spoken from the consciousness of abundance. Remember, feeling is the secret. Words without feeling are powerless, but words infused with conviction and emotion take deep root. When you speak inwardly, speak with the feeling that what you say is already true. Let your tone be one of calm assurance, the voice of someone who knows. The power to transform your financial reality is not hidden somewhere outside of you. It's not locked away in a course, a book, or a mentor. It exists within your consciousness right now. You are not waiting on life. Life is waiting on you to awaken to what you truly are. The same creative force that moves the stars and governs the tides lives in you as you. When you recognize that consciousness is the only reality, you stop chasing the world and start commanding it. You no longer seek power because you realize you are the power. You were not born to struggle financially. That was learned, accepted, without question. But beneath that conditioning is your true nature, creative, abundant, unlimited. The outer world may have taught you scarcity, but your inner world knows no lack. The source of your wealth is not a job, a client, or an economy. Those are merely channels. The real source is your state of consciousness. Hold abundance in mind, and you must experience abundance in form. This is not attraction. This is expression. You are radiating your inner state outward. Turn inward now. Still your mind. Withdraw your attention from the outer clamor and become aware of your thoughts, your feelings, your assumptions. They are not meaningless. They are the blueprint of your reality. Begin this moment to assume you are already the person who lives abundantly. Not someday, now. Feel the reality of being provided for. Feel the certainty that what you need is already prepared. Let go of the question how and enter the state of it is done. When you consistently dwell in this consciousness, outer changes become inevitable, not because you force them, but because you have aligned with a higher truth. You are using the gift of imagination not to escape life, but to shape it according to your highest vision. Do not look to others for permission. Do not wait for circumstances to become favorable. The moment you shift your inner state, the moment you say within yourself, "I am," you set the creative law in motion. You already possess this power. It has always been yours. All that is required is your conscious decision to use it, to believe that what you seek already exists within you, to walk in the awareness that your world is not happening to you, but flowing from you. Wealth begins in consciousness, because consciousness is where everything begins, not in a bank account or business strategy. Those are effects, not causes. The root of lasting prosperity lies in the invisible realm of thought, feeling, and identity. You cannot harvest abundance until you have first planted abundance in your mind. Your consciousness is the soil, and what grows must reflect what has been sown. True wealth flows from inner awareness, how you see yourself, what you believe about your worthiness, what you assume to be true about your relationship with abundance itself. When your inner state reflects prosperity, the outer world must harmonize with it. Feel into the state of wealth now, not as something you hope to achieve someday, but as something you are claiming in this moment. This is not pretense. It is alignment with the truth that everything already exists in infinite potential, waiting for your recognition. The common error is looking outward and reacting to appearances. But what you see is the result of past states of consciousness. To break the cycle, you must act from the unseen, trust the invisible. You are not subject to appearances unless you accept them as final. Ask yourself, What do I truly believe about wealth, about money, about my worthiness to receive? These beliefs are living energies shaping your experience. If limiting beliefs exist, you need not force them away. Simply observe without judgment and choose a new assumption. Begin affirming, wealth flows to me with ease. I am worthy of abundance. Life supports me fully. Say it until it feels natural, until it becomes part of who you know yourself to be. You are not merely repeating words. You are stepping into a new reality, shifting your inner atmosphere. That shift, though invisible at first, begins to reconfigure your world. Opportunities appear, resources align, people respond to your changed energy. The world reflects not what you want, but what you have become within. Wealth is not about accumulation, it is about expression. It is the free flow of life through you. And that flow begins when you no longer see yourself as separate from the source. The source is not outside you, it is you, expressing as your own awakened consciousness. Do not wait for tomorrow. Begin now to live from abundance. Not when conditions improve, but now, because now is all there is. And now is where your creative power lives. You are not here to chase wealth. You are here to awaken to it. The riches you seek arise from the depths of your own consciousness. As you feel it real, imagine vividly, speak with authority, and dwell in the awareness of already having, life must respond. The law is beautifully simple. As within, so without. Stop looking to the world for confirmation and become the source of it. Live from the end, think from abundance, and carry the quiet confidence of one who knows it is already done. Everything you need to attract wealth exists within your consciousness right now, waiting not to be earned, but to be claimed. This is your invitation to claim it. But let me share with you something profound. There are those who will tell you that wanting wealth is somehow unspiritual, that desiring abundance makes you greedy or selfish. This is the greatest lie ever perpetuated upon humanity. You are here to express the fullness of life, and abundance in all its forms is your divine birthright. The universe is abundant by nature. Look around you, countless stars, infinite space, endless creativity flowing through every living thing. Scarcity is not a natural law, it is a learned limitation. You were born into an abundant universe, and that same abundance seeks to express itself through you in every area of your life. When you truly understand this, you realize that by claiming your wealth, you are not taking from others. You are adding to the total sum of abundance in the world. Your prosperity creates opportunities for others. Your success inspires possibilities. Your wealth becomes a channel through which more good can flow into the world. Now, let me tell you something that may surprise you. The reason most people struggle with money is not because they don't work hard enough or lack opportunity. It's because they have unconsciously accepted a story about themselves that keeps them locked in limitation. They have identified with being someone who never has enough or has to struggle for everything. Identity is everything. You cannot rise above the person you believe yourself to be. If deep down you believe you are someone who is destined to struggle financially, then no amount of effort, no strategy, no opportunity will permanently change your circumstances. You might experience temporary improvement, but you will inevitably return to the level that matches your self-concept. This is why the work must begin within. You must first become wealthy in consciousness before you can become wealthy in form. You must know yourself as someone who naturally attracts abundance, who effortlessly receives, who is worthy of the very best life has to offer. Let me give you a technique that will accelerate this transformation. I call it living in the end. Instead of working toward your goal, you must learn to work from it. Instead of trying to become wealthy, you must assume you already are, and think, feel, and act from that assumption. Every morning when you wake up, before you check your phone, before you think about your problems, before you engage with the world, spend 10 minutes in the consciousness of wealth. Feel what it would be like to wake up, knowing that money is never a concern for you. Feel the peace, the freedom, the joy of someone who is completely financially secure. Throughout your day, make decisions from this consciousness. When you're choosing what to eat, what to wear, how to spend your time, Choose as someone who knows they are abundant. This doesn't mean being reckless with money. It means moving through the world with the confidence and peace of someone who knows they are provided for. And here's what will happen. And this might seem impossible to you now, but I promise you it is the natural result of this practice. As you consistently live from this assumption, your external world will begin to rearrange itself to match your internal state. Opportunities you couldn't have predicted will appear. People will be drawn to help you. Resources will flow to you in the most unexpected ways. This is not magic. This is law, the law of consciousness. What you are conscious of being, you must become in your experience. It has never failed, and it cannot fail, because consciousness is the substance from which all things are made. But here's where most people stumble. They try this technique for a few days or a few weeks, and when they don't see immediate external changes, they give up. They return to their old ways of thinking, their old conversations with themselves, their old emotional patterns, and then they wonder why nothing changed. The truth is, changes in consciousness often precede changes in circumstances by what seems like a long time, but is actually the perfect time. There is a gestation period for every seed of desire you plant in consciousness. Just as a farmer doesn't dig up his seeds every day to see if they're growing, you must not constantly check the external world to see if your assumption is working. Your only job is to remain faithful to the assumption, to return again and again to the feeling of wealth, the consciousness of abundance, the knowing that you are provided for. The external world is not your concern. That is the domain of the creative principle within you, which knows exactly how to bring about the fulfillment of your assumption. Now let me tell you about the power of gratitude in this process. Gratitude is not something you do after you receive what you want. Gratitude is what opens the door for you to receive it. When you feel genuinely grateful for the wealth that is yours in consciousness, you are acknowledging its reality. You are saying yes to it with your entire being. Every night before you sleep, make it a practice to feel grateful for your abundance. Not grateful that it's coming, grateful that it's here. Feel thankful for the financial freedom you possess, for the security you enjoy, for the generosity you can express. This gratitude, when it comes from a deep knowing of already having, is one of the most powerful attracting forces in the universe. But I want to address something that creates confusion for many people. They ask, if I'm supposed to feel wealthy now, does that mean I should spend money I don't have? Should I act irresponsibly with my finances? The answer is no. Living from the consciousness of wealth means making wise decisions from a place of inner security, not making foolish decisions from a place of pretense. When you truly feel wealthy within, you naturally make choices that honor and protect your resources. You don't spend from fear or lack, but neither do you spend from a need to prove something. You move with the wisdom and discernment of someone who understands the value of what they have and knows more is always available. The consciousness of wealth includes the consciousness of wisdom. It includes knowing when to spend, when to save, when to invest, when to give. These decisions flow naturally from the inner knowing of abundance, not from anxiety about scarcity. Let me share with you one of the most important principles you'll ever learn about attracting wealth. You must become comfortable receiving. So many people are comfortable giving, comfortable working, comfortable struggling, but deeply uncomfortable receiving. They feel guilty when good things come to them, as if they don't deserve it or haven't earned it. This discomfort with receiving creates a block in the flow of abundance. It's like trying to fill a cup while simultaneously poking holes in the bottom. No matter how much flows in, it flows right back out because you don't believe you should have it. Practice receiving in small ways. When someone offers to pay for your coffee, let them. When someone gives you a compliment, simply say thank you instead of deflecting it. When unexpected money comes to you, even if it's just finding $1 on the street, receive it with joy and gratitude. As you become more comfortable receiving small things, you expand your capacity to receive larger things. The universe is always seeking to give to you, but it can only give what you are willing and able to receive. Here's another crucial point that will transform your relationship with money. Stop making money more important than it is, and stop making it less important than it is. Money is simply a symbol, a tool, a means of exchange. It has no power except what you give it. It is neither good nor evil, it simply is. When you make money your God, when you think it will solve all your problems and make you happy, you give it a power it doesn't possess. When you demonize money, when you think it's the root of all evil, or that spiritual people shouldn't want it, you push away something that could be a beautiful tool for good in your life. The healthy relationship with money is to see it as a wonderful servant, but a terrible master. When you are conscious of your true worth, when you know that your value comes from who you are, rather than what you have, then money becomes a delightful addition to your life, rather than a desperate necessity. From this consciousness, money flows more easily, because you're not grasping for it out of fear. You're not repelling it out of guilt. You're simply allowing it to flow as naturally as breath, taking what you need and sharing what you can. Now let me address the question that's probably arising in your mind. How long does this take? The answer depends entirely on how completely you can accept the new story about yourself and how consistently you can live from it. Some people experience dramatic shifts within days or weeks of truly embracing their identity as abundant beings. Others take months or even years to fully transform their consciousness and see corresponding changes in their external world. The timing is not what matters. The certainty of the outcome is what matters. What I can promise you is this: if you persist in the consciousness of wealth, if you refuse to return to the old story of lack and limitation, if you make the feeling of abundance your dwelling place, then the external change is not just possible, it is inevitable. The challenge is that your current circumstances will try to pull you back into the old story. Your bank account, your bills, your current income, they will all seem to argue against your new assumption. This is where faith comes in, not blind faith, but faith rooted in understanding. You must understand that what you see with your physical eyes is the result of past consciousness. It is old news. It is the fruit of seeds you planted in consciousness, weeks, months, or years ago. It has nothing to do with what you're planting now, and everything to do with what you planted then. When you truly grasp this, you can look at your current financial situation with complete peace, knowing that it's simply the outpicturing of your former state of consciousness. You don't need to fight it or feel bad about it. You simply need to remain faithful to your new assumption and allow time for the new harvest to appear. This is why I teach people to live in the end. Don't live in the struggle toward your goal. Live as if the goal is already achieved. Don't think about becoming wealthy. Think as someone who is wealthy. Don't hope for abundance. Assume abundance. Every thought you think, every word you speak, every feeling you entertain is either reinforcing your new story or returning you to your old one. There is no neutral ground. You are always creating, always choosing, always assuming something about yourself and your life. Make sure you are conscious of what you're choosing. Make sure your thoughts, words, and feelings align with the person you are becoming, rather than the person you used to be. Let me share with you a powerful evening practice that will accelerate your transformation. Each night before you fall asleep, review your day, not to judge or criticize, but to notice. When did you think from wealth today? When did you think from lack? When did you feel abundant? When did you feel limited? Don't judge what you notice. Simply observe with the loving awareness of someone who is committed to growth. Then, gently revise any moments when you fell back into the old story. In your imagination, replay those moments from your new identity. See yourself responding to challenges from abundance rather than fear, making decisions from wisdom rather than worry. This practice of revision is incredibly powerful because it literally rewrites your emotional memory of the day. It helps establish your new identity more firmly and prevents the old patterns from taking root. As you fall asleep, do so in the consciousness of wealth. Feel grateful for the abundance that is yours. Feel peaceful about your financial future. Feel excited about the opportunities that are coming. Let these feelings carry you into sleep, and let them be the first feelings you experience when you wake. Sleep is a particularly powerful time for impression because your conscious mind is quieted and your subconscious is most receptive. The feelings and assumptions you carry into sleep are impressed deeply into your subconscious, and your subconscious works throughout the night to create circumstances that match those impressions. Many people have experienced sudden windfalls, unexpected opportunities, or breakthrough ideas that came to them in dreams or upon waking. This is not coincidence. This is the natural result of falling asleep in the consciousness of their fulfilled desire. Now, as you begin to apply these principles, you may notice resistance from family members, friends, or colleagues. They may make comments about your changing attitude toward money. They may try to pull you back into conversations about lack and limitation. They may even criticize your new way of thinking as unrealistic or impractical. This resistance is natural and actually a sign that you're changing. The people around you have become accustomed to you being a certain way, and your transformation challenges their own beliefs about what's possible. Don't take their resistance personally, and don't let it deter you from your path. You don't need to convince anyone else of these truths. You don't need to defend your new way of thinking or prove that it works. Your only responsibility is to live from your new assumption and let your results speak for themselves. In fact, I recommend that you keep your inner work private, at least in the beginning. Share your new consciousness through your being, rather than your words. Let people wonder what's different about you. Let them be inspired by your peace, your confidence, your joy. As your external world begins to change, as abundance starts flowing into your life in tangible ways, then you can share these principles with those who are genuinely interested. But don't try to convert the skeptical or convince the doubtful. Save your energy for your own transformation. Remember, you are not trying to manipulate the universe or trick life into giving you what you want. You are simply aligning with the truth of your being. You are remembering who you really are beneath all the conditioning and limitations you've accepted. Wealth is your natural state. Abundance is your birthright. Joy, peace, freedom, and prosperity are not rewards you earn through suffering. They are expressions of your true nature that emerge when you stop blocking them with false beliefs about yourself. The moment you truly accept this, the moment you stop arguing for your limitations and start assuming your possibilities, your whole world changes. Not just your financial world, your entire experience of life becomes richer, fuller, more beautiful. You begin to see opportunities where others see obstacles. You begin to feel excited about your future where others feel anxious. You begin to move through the world with a confidence and peace that draws good things to you like a magnet. This is not about becoming someone you're not. It's about becoming who you've always been beneath the layers of doubt and fear. It's about remembering your true identity as a creative, powerful, abundant being who is here to express the fullness of life. So I leave you with this. Everything you need is already within you. Every tool, every technique, every principle I've shared is simply a way of helping you remember and activate what you already possess. You are not lacking anything. You are not broken or incomplete. You are perfect, whole, and complete right now. And your abundance is simply the natural expression of that perfection. Begin today. Begin now. Assume you are wealthy, and let that assumption guide every thought, every feeling, every action. Live as if it's already true, because in the realm of consciousness, where all things are created, it already is. Your wealth is not coming to you, it's coming through you. You are not attracting abundance, you are expressing it. You are not trying to become prosperous, you are recognizing the prosperity that has always been your true nature. This is your moment. This is your invitation. This is your time to step into the fullness of who you really are and claim the abundance that has always been yours. The only question is, will you accept it? Everything you need to attract wealth exists within your consciousness right now, waiting not to be earned, but to be claimed. This is your invitation to claim it.